Good evening and welcome to it. This is Chess and Wine. Oh, my name is Eddie Bila. That was a long sip. I'm back with some updates and reporting, in fact, on the matter of the Northern Cape schools chess and the Northern Cape Chess Federation. Yes, the federation itself. And it's very interesting to learn that this is not a common occurrence in the Northern Cape, because remember we were speaking about how they used the Northern Cape closed event, which was a paid event played over 3 days, and they used the results of that to select the players for the schools chess championships. And we know that the schools chess championships is meant to be free for all players. It's where players that can't afford get opportunities, as it's sponsored by the department, DCSR, Department of Sports, Culture and Recreation. And now it felt like players were being excluded by the Northern Cape. But I mean, if it's not a common occurrence and it was just a once-off, I'm not saying it's okay, but I'm just saying that if that was the case, that it's a common occurrence, it will explain why. I mean, in future, see, I'm not trying to make fun. I'm making light of a serious issue. But again, I'm just saying it will explain why there hasn't been a chess superstar to ever come out of the Northern Cape in a while, because maybe chess is exclusive in there. And you know, when you want to actually unearth talent, you need to go deep in the rurals, like to find the kids that can afford. You make it open for everyone so that the competition becomes proper competition, so that everyone fights to prove themselves, whether it's from the underprivileged and the privileged, and saying chess is for us all. Let's see though who is the best. Unlike it being a sport only for the privileged, and then we say the privileged are the best just because they're the only ones getting opportunities. It doesn't make sense. They're not the best. They're just the only ones who were tested. So now, if it's inclusive, then at least the best becomes really the best out of everyone. So maybe, I'm just saying. So if others are not getting opportunities, then we can't really praise the ones that have the opportunities and are winning, because they're just privileged. And that's one case where we would look at privilege and think like, But if you're privileged and you still get selected amongst all the others taking part with, and anyways, we just move on. I'm just going to read the responses. So it came out that there's actually a communication from the Northern Cape, which is as follows: the Northern Cape Provincial Schools Chess, and it says, "Dear learners," it reads, it's from the 31st of August, 2024. So I'm not quite sure if it came up after the video, on the day of the video. Yeah, so there it is. It says, "Dear learners, selection criteria for national schools competition. Due to the recent communication from the Department of Sport, Arts and Culture on 26 August 2024, confirming their assistance for a chess team to the National School Sports Championship from 26 to 29 September 2024 to be held in Gqeberha, and considering the urgent requirement to register players, the following selection criteria have been established for the national schools competition." Now hold it there. Wait. They communicated on the 26th of August 2024 about the event that's going to take place on the 26th of September. And does that not give the province time to hold selections? The districts, the regions. Because this is actually the time that all the other schools are busy doing it though. So why should it come separate? The communication in Northern Cape comes separate from all the other communications to the other provinces. Because all the other provinces were away. Were they not? Because all the other provinces have been holding schools for selections for the past few months. We've been seeing it. Even though we may not have been reporting on it, but when you go to chessresults.com, you see Western Cape Schools Chess, Gauteng Schools Chess, inter-regional trials, the Nelson Mandela Bay trials 1, trials 2, and things like that. All of those things have been happening. So Northern Cape, they wait for their provincial departments? Is it the case with all the other provinces that they wait for their provincial department to communicate with them first before they... It doesn't make sense. But if that's the sense of it, then it's senseless. Because honestly, if that's actually the normal practice that, and again, if it is the province that has just handed out the communication this late, School, but anyway, I've also seen a comment in a previous video that school has issues with notices. Man, they always give people very short notices. Other provinces also complain about that either the communication regarding the age groups is always mixed up, or they notify schools, parents or players very late, giving them very short notice for events to take place, for competitions. Because I just learned that it's so funny, because I've just learned that in Ehlanzeni region, they've also already have had made selections for the province, unless it was just for the district. And I know a lot of players that were not aware of it, that it took place on Saturday. So again, who are these players going to be representing if they went because their teachers are the ones involved in the regional structure? Because now it's like, if you are the teacher that is in the regional structure, you only invite players that are from your school. Then you don't see it as a responsibility to spread the word around schools in your locality, in your municipality, in your district, and making sure that everybody is aware. Why is that? Because it's crazy, right? We expect that people are in office to serve everyone else, but it's like they're serving themselves, because they know that if their kids win, then they are the ones that get a chance to travel with the kids to the provincials, then to the nationals. So people are doing these things just for selections, to get opportunities as teachers even. It's so crazy. But anyways, we were here speaking about, we'll come back to the Mpumalanga issue one, because I've also been receiving complaints about the Mpumalanga events, but it's different. So yeah, we'll come back to that one. Let's continue with the letter from the Northern Cape Schools Shares. It reads, the selection criteria for national schools competition. Yes, that was the one. So they say, obviously, due to the late notice from the department, they had to use the selections. So the selection tournament, players were selected based on their participation at the Northern Cape Chess Selections Tournament, specifically the Northern Cape Closed held recently. Number 2, Chess SA ratings. Chess SA ratings were used to select the top 7 players due to discrepancies between the age groups of the school's competition and those typically used by the federation. This approach was necessary as the age group classification did not align, making it impractical to rely solely on the standings from the Northern Cape Closed results. The national tournament age groups is as follows: under 15 players born 2009 and 2010, under 18 players who are born 2008, 2007, 2006. Due to financial and time constraints, this method is considered the fairest and most practical approach to selecting the best players to represent Northern Cape at the National Schools Championships. We appreciate your understanding and commitment to ensuring that Northern Cape is well represented. Please direct any queries regarding the tournament or selection processes to the contact details provided above. There you go. Yeah, you'll see the contact details above. But then that's the explanation. And it's so interesting that after seeing this this communication, but besides that, they list the players. So it's a selections for selections for the Northern Cape Schools Chess team. Congratulations on being selected to represent the Northern Cape in 2024 National Schools Chess Championships in Gqeberha. Then it's as follows: under 15 girls. And obviously the under 18 girls, there's Ajum Savannah, Ajum Kristen, Ajum Jordan, Mabilo Ratanang, Chindeka Melody, Bother Jasmine, Peters Chante. And then there's under 18 boys. Then that's the interesting thing is that and under 18 girls, there's 3 Ajums there. So that communication from that letter previously saying that maybe Warren won't say anything. Warren Ajum president would not say anything because his kids are here. That was a funny one. But anyway, he's not in charge of the school's championship, but yeah, we know that he spoke up a bit. So yeah, anyways, so I just wanted to quickly come to the communication, this response that came from Dr. Jabo Mukwena, the president of Umoja Chess Club, the host of the Umoja Chess Extravaganza. So it's a very detailed one. So it sounds like a press release in a way. So that's why I felt like I have to read it, even though I don't see how directly he involved is he. But again, as a leader, I mean, I'm thinking that he felt it necessary to just calm the players and calm the situation and make everybody aware that, hey, there was no, there was no intention for unfairness here. So let's keep the faith in our leaders in a way. I guess that's what he was trying to do. But yeah, it reads as follows. Good day, colleagues. I have just watched the video above. After reading the letter from the chairperson of the Northern Cape Schools Chess, my understanding is that they had not planned to send a team to national schools due to financial constraints. However, a few days ago, DSAC, Department of Sports, Arts and Culture, provided funds to cover the expenses for the trip to the nationals. Unfortunately, for some reasons, district and provincial trials were not held this year. As a result, Northern Cape Schools Chess decided to use the results of the Northern Cape closed and player ratings to select the team. Given the circumstances, I believe this was a reasonable approach in the absence of trials. It was either this approach or that they wouldn't send a team at all. I would choose the former anytime. There was no intention to exclude anyone, although it can be argued that some deserving players were effectively excluded because they couldn't participate in the Northern Cape closed due to financial constraints. The only criticism of Northern Cape Schools Chess is their lack of preparedness for any eventuality. I don't know the reasons why the trials were not held, but they should have been. It should be standard practice to hold district and provincial trials, irrespective of whether a team will ultimately be sent to nationals. This is very rational. Hey, Dr. Mokwen. This is very, yeah. So, yeah. In summary, the Northern Cape Schools Chess might have inadvertently disadvantaged some deserving players, but it was not intentional. They did what they could given the time constraints, but they may have failed some players by not holding the trials when they had the opportunity. Wow, this is good. This is, you see, this is a type of PR. Why don't they hire Dr. Mokwen to be the PR for Chess South Africa? Honestly, I think he must just raise his hand for that position, because this is a good public relation response from and from a standpoint of I don't even know how I'm saying that he's speaking for the, because you can't really say who he's speaking for, right? But but effectively he's calming the situation. We understand there was some wrongs done, but this was the situation and so forth. And this is good. This is what proper leadership looks like. I don't even know why I'm impressed by this, but yeah, but that's basically what it is saying. It's coming from a respectable leader. I mean, the president of Moja Extravaganza, because Moja Chess Extravaganza, Moja Chess Club is like bigger than the province itself. But apparently they don't have players. The Moja Chess Club does not have players, apparently. I'm hearing stories about the Moja Chess Club as well. It's running tournaments and running seminars, but it doesn't have players. I'm gonna try and prove that for myself, because I'm going to the Moja Extravaganza this year, come rain or shine. I want to speak to players and find out how many of their players are representing in each section. Because you can't be hosting such a big tournament and not have players in you from your own club in every section. They must have players in the under 11 groups. They must have players in the prestige section. They must have players everywhere if they're the host and they're the club. Moja. I choose not to believe that Moja Chess Club does not have players. It doesn't make sense, honestly. But yeah, I mean, for this one, I'll close it here for the issue of the Northern Cape. Yes, and let's hope that they do things better next time. And thank you for the responses that came forward on that matter. But again, now let me try and move on to another issue, very pressing. It's the issue of the Eastern Cape and the Nelson Mandela Bay Chess Union. The clashes. We know they say that when two elephants fight, the grass suffers. And now it seems like it is the players that are seriously suffering in the Eastern Cape because of the clash of the titans. The people that believe that chess should revolve around them, and without their leadership, without their presence in any spaces, then there should be no chess going on. It's so crazy. It's getting out of hand. And it definitely requires some serious attention now from the leaders in Chess South Africa, or in sports in South Africa. Because what is happening right now, it is definitely threatening a whole lot of people's safety, comforts. Players now have to choose. Players have to choose sides. I actually got a text from a player that is feeling very, he's feeling bullied right now, as he says. And it's very concerning when players start feeling this way, right? And he says, I have something that you might like. Hi, Eddie, I have something that you might want to look at getting out. I'm going to ask to be anonymous. As you're aware, Nelson Mandela Bay Chess Union is in a bad place with two different expos. What is being swept under the carpets Yeah. Freddie Odendo from the Nelson Mandela Bay, who is vice president of his executive board and a member of the Sarah Patman district, recently bullied me, who is a player on Playcom Eastern Cape. It is reported to Chesa and being dealt with as we speak. However, the executive board is sweeping it under the carpet. He means, I have evidence if required. This is all presented with respect, and I feel Expos or senior players bullying players needs to be out in the open. I am focused on my chess goals as a player, which I have a right to, and I've made it clear in private communication that I am not part of any sides. So yeah, and this evidence, this proves it's these players now being forced to choose a side. Like, fine, you make an event, we understand. And if players don't come to your event, then you want to bully them and say, oh yeah, you're taking sides now, or yeah, you're going with and whomever. No, players mustn't suffer. I think the best way for you, in fact, two executive boards to win players over is by you actually trying to win players over now to get support. So because everybody else is allowing the two structures to continue parallel, then that means it's now your turn to start proving yourself which one deserves to be the legitimate one. Because like you both have opportunities to campaign now as an expo. So that whenever finally somebody intervenes and there's voting that is meant to take place, then people would we want to vote for these guys from this executive because they proven themselves. They were doing nice events for us. They had better prizes. They had better rent tournaments and so forth. Not saying you want all the strong players to come to your tournament, so you call them, you text them, and if they say they can't come, even they give you proper reasons why they can't come, you want to call them and you tell them, yeah, you are choosing sides. Yeah, this is a war. You mustn't, there's no standing in the fence here. There's what? No, players are allowed to stand in the fence. There are some players that are not interested in being involved with politics. We know politics can be very texting and some texting, in fact. Yeah. And some players want to focus on their rating. Senior players, we understand that, but we wish that obviously players would be involved in the politics of their game. But it doesn't mean we must push them, bully them, and actually harass them if they say they are not interested. Honestly, man. When people no longer want to be involved, they have a right to. They can just step aside and say, no, okay, I've seen how dirty this thing can get, and I don't want my name being mentioned in the media anyway. So now, Freddie, because you wanted to run, you want your name to be mentioned in the media. And please, man, just stop what you're doing. And I see, and the thing is, what is happening is there's this thing, it's going to be blown so much out of the proportion because we know that the Executive Board of Chess South Africa is, how do we say this, is biased in this instance. So if this matter now gets reported to Chess South Africa, we know that they would want to come back and respond swiftly in terms of punishing Freddie Odendo. Even though, yes, because what he's doing is wrong. But we know that they are not swiftly into responding or acting on other matters because a lot of matters have been raised. But in this case, though, Freddie, in fact, I'm saying Eddie, Freddie must understand that, damn, man, come on, respect the players. The players are the leaders, the ruler, they are the true, what do you call them, man? Because they're the most valuable part of this sport. So if we're going to be harassing them in this way, if we're going to be, no, man, I don't even have words for it. But it's actually bringing me to another issue again now with Mr. Luzuku Ndenisa as well as the interim president of Chess, of Eastern Cape Chess, who's also been suspended. Because now I'm also hearing stories that he also tried to stop an event from happening, an event that was completely sponsored by the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture. An event that was meant to be free for the players of the Eastern Cape. An event that is meant to afford opportunities to the players who are from underprivileged communities. The ones that we fight for, the one that we're in the struggle for when we claim we're in the struggle. Now, what is the point now when they have to suffer because you now are no longer accepted as an arbiter for an event and they have to call another arbiter? And then you're saying this event would rather not happen? Now, honestly, I mean, from this context, I am inviting you for just to share your side of the story, because the way the story is coming out, it's shaping out very ugly. Because you've been framing yourself as the man of the people, the president that is wanted by the leader that is needed, is wanted and is begged for by the players themselves. Now, when you do this to the players that you're meant to be representing, that you're meant to be fighting for, and you cancel an event just the night before, yeah, no, man, like there's things that are coming out about you are not nice, guys. Like, so now it's confusing because it means now if this continues, if this clash of the Eastern Cape continues to happen, chess might ultimately suffer. And it only requires that a bigger structure, a higher structure intervenes. And we see that the sending of Advocate Giza, Frick Giza by André Levax does not cut it. Because we know that André Levax as president of Chess South Africa, he's biased in this issue as well, as he had stated that he was coming to Eastern Cape to remove Luzukundenise. And then when he now comes and he sends someone that is his personal friend, even though he's an advocate, but he's his personal friend, to come and intervene and be an administrator in the Eastern Cape, where he was saying, I am coming to remove you. And then now it happens that he has his friend. Obviously, the friend is the hand of the president. Shouldn't the SHS Council now choose an administrator that would be acceptable to the Eastern Cape as a whole, with consultation, obviously, with the Eastern Cape? Because if the council now chooses someone, we know the council, again, speaks through the executive board. But the executive board needs a secretary. And the secretary that we're speaking about cannot be acting secretary Nicole Peter, because, again, she's also personally invested in the matter. It is her husband, Peter Mnenawa, who was suspended by Luzukundenise as a Nelson Mandela paper, I don't know, as a player or as a member, but even his suspension as well, just like that. And then he went on to get elected. So again, she is also not an ideal person to get involved with these matters. So what we obviously there needs to be a person that is neutral, that can be sent. I think they should even just send Joe Mahomula or somebody, someone that everybody can respect, because I'm sure Mr. Mahomula is someone that can be respected. Or maybe bring in someone from outside, I don't know, Department of Sports, or someone from a different sport to now intervene, someone who is not involved in chess, because that could also be done. And that person can come in and be the administrator and obviously facilitate the running of the proper elections that people need. Because as this thing continues right now in the Eastern Cape, it is getting ugly. So the story is as follows: that the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture had appointed Luzukundenise to become a chief arbiter for an event of club events, clubs championships, the clubs league. In fact, that was meant to be happening out there in Chris Hani district of the Eastern Cape. And what happened is when he didn't when the department found out that Luzukundenise was suspended, they decided that, hey, we can't continue sponsoring or running the event with you as a suspended person. So we'd rather we get someone else to arbiter the event so it can continue, because we don't want it having we want it to be a proper rated and And what happened was Luzukundenise decided that, hey, if I'm not in the event, then it's not happening. So apparently he sent communications to groups saying that the event was cancelled. He also sent a communication to the venue, cancelling the venue that had been booked. On a Friday, he cancelled it, and the event is supposed to take place on a Saturday. Just imagine. And the department had already paid for players to come and obviously get accommodation near the venue. They had transportations ready to pick up the players to take them to the tournament venue. And it was just so crazy. And now early in the morning on a Friday, they had to get another arbiter to come and run the tournament. Such things should not happen, man. If it's for the players, it's for the players. Like, allow the process to happen, step aside. Or even if, I'm thinking now, Luzukundenise could have just asked someone in his executive, an interim executive, or in his regional executive to run the event. Come on. If you know it's not going to happen with you, don't say it's either with me or nothing. Because come on, it just can't evolve around you as an individual. That without your personal involvement, then nothing is happening. But honestly, please do send us your response and let us know what actually transpired, what made you want to stop the event from happening. because there's a whole lot of communication that didn't get through to players. Apparently, there were players that were selected to take part there, but they didn't know, they didn't have the communication. Their managers, their their coaches didn't know that their players were meant to be playing, and they only found out the night before. Just because one person is withholding information. Now, please, man, like, let's not do this to chess. Chess is already difficult as it is. Let's not make it so difficult for people to get opportunities. Hey, man. So now it becomes blurry. Now we can't really tell who's the good guy and who's the bad guy when things are like this. Because I mean, all this time I thought Bo, Freddie, Orendal, and team were the good guys. Now, when they are intimidating players, they cannot be the good guys when they're intimidating players. We always thought Bolusu Kudinisa were the good guys. But now when they are doing this to the players, when they are trying to sabotage events that are meant to benefit players, then they can't be the good guys. And now I'm starting to understand why they say, yeah, you are too far from the event to understand. But I'm obviously getting the stories as I get them from you, right? And I send them out to the rest of you. But if people are doing this, then we can't really see them as good guys. No ways. This is Chess and Wine. Good evening.